to Art Teacher on the Loose. Today we're in my laundry room and we're going to be making a sun catcher. Come on! A sun catcher is typically made from a translucent material and hung in a window. The light coming through the window then goes through the design and highlights it. Today we're going to be making a sun catcher using wax paper and melted crayons. To make our sun catcher, you're going to need scissors, glue, pencil sharpener, construction paper, crayons, wax paper, an iron, and something to cover your work surface. Today we're going to create a work of art with a gradient. To create a gradient, we have to use analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that sit next to each other in the rainbow or on our color wheel. I've already picked out my crayon colors that I want to use to create my gradient. I start with yellow-orange, and then I go orange, red, red-violet, violet, and then blue. Next, what I need to do is lay out a piece of wax paper on my work surface. After that, I'm going to take off the paper on the crayons I'm going to use, and I'm going to use my pencil sharpener to shave off little pieces of my crayon. As I do that, I want to create my gradient. So I'm starting with my yellow-orange first, and then I'm going to move to my orange, and then my red, and my red-violet, my violet, and then to my blue. As you create your gradient, it's important to make sure that you leave a little bit of space around the edges. Once I have my gradient how I want it, I'm going to lay a second piece of wax paper over the top. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to take our iron on a low setting and we're going to go over the top of our crayon. And what that's going to do is that's going to melt my crayon together. With my crayon melted, it's time to let it dry. While my wax is drying, I'm going to create a frame for my sun catcher. I'm going to need 2 pieces of construction paper. The first one I'm going to fold in half. We're going to make a symmetrical frame. Symmetrical means that it's the same on both sides. I'm going to make a heart. In order to do that, I'm going to draw half of the heart on my piece of construction paper. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. Now, this doesn't look like a frame. It looks like a giant heart. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out the center of my heart. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to fold it back up, and inside my heart that I already drew, I'm going to draw a second heart. We're going to leave a little bit of an edge. So with my second heart drawn, I'm now going to cut out the center. And now we have the first part of our frame. To create the second part of my frame, I'm going to use the scrap from my original drawing. I'm going to fold a second piece of paper in half, and then I'm going to lay my scrap down on top and trace, so I have the same sized heart. Now with my second heart drawn, I'm going to repeat the process just like I did with my first one to cut it out. With it all cut out, I'm now going to take my first frame piece and lay it down on top and trace again to cut out the center part so it's the exact same size. Now I should have 2 frame pieces that are the exact same. To assemble my sun catcher, I'm going to start by finding the most interesting part of my design. I'm going to put glue on one side of my frame, and then I'm going to stick it down over the area that I want to highlight. With the first part of my frame glued down, it's now time to cut around my frame. We're going to cut off all the extra wax paper and crayon that is hanging out. Lastly, I'm going to glue my second frame piece to the back of my design. Sun catcher complete, it's time to hang it in the window. To hang your sun catcher, you can use a piece of tape or a hole punch with a piece of string. Whatever you use, the sunlight is going to look awesome coming through. That was so much fun, I think we need to make another one. This time for my frame, I'm going to create a butterfly. I'm going to start again by folding my piece of paper in half, and I'm going to draw my half of a butterfly on my paper. To cut out the center of my butterfly, I've drawn inside to create a second line so that the outside of my butterfly becomes my frame. Just like before, I'm going to take my first frame and I'm going to lay it on top of my second one to create the same cutout as my first one. Now I should have 2 complete butterfly frames. I'm going to take the most interesting part of my design and I'm going to glue my frame down over the top. With my first frame piece glued down, it's time to cut off all the extra again. And lastly, I'm going to glue my second frame on the back. Well, there you have it, folks. A super simple sun catcher. And boy, will they look gorgeous in the window. Can't wait to see what you create.